Hello you guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be going over the top 3 issues or mistakes I see ladies make when first getting into bodybuilding with their posing. So I've been a bodybuilding coach for well over 5 years. I've had many girls get top 5 placings, overall wins, and I've seen a lot of things. So I wanted to share with you guys some simple tips that can help you from making mistakes on stage so that you can display your best on your show day. Let's start with my most controversial take. Socks in your heels are one of the worst habits you can get into. So I know a lot of people might think this looks cute. It makes the heels hurt less. But what you're actually doing, first off, is you're stretching out your heels. So what you don't realize is that the plastic stretches as you use it. So if you have an extra layer on with your socks, you're going to be stretching it out. When they're first brand new, I get that. They're super tight, they're uncomfortable. But what you don't realize is you're probably going to stretch them past where you need to. And then you're going to want to keep wearing your socks in them. And what happens as you go through prep and you diet is you actually lose fat everywhere, including in the pads of your feet. So if you continue on wearing your socks in your heels when it comes to show day and you can't wear socks that day, your shoes are going to be too big and you're going to have it where your toes stick out over the edge. And you can even see I'm almost having that issue right now because the socks are letting my foot slip through. Also, talking about letting the socks have you slip through, when you wear socks, you provide another surface for your foot to slip on. So when your foot is just against that shoe, it's able to have friction against it and you're not going to feel as unstable. When you're in socks and trying to move, your foot will slip against that sock because the sock is what's holding on to the shoe and it allows your foot to slip through. So instead of being able to feel confident in your steps, you might feel your balance slip out from under you while you're trying to be up on your toes in heels, especially if you're a lady that hasn't worn heels a lot before, you're just not comfortable in them. This is going to set you back even further. One of the next biggest struggles I see girls have problems with when they get into their posing is the lack of mobility. So for each division, this looks different, and I'll break it down for all of them, but a lot of times we rely on our hip, pelvis, and lower back mobility to allow us to get into our poses properly and really showcase our physiques best. So starting with bikini. So in a bikini front pose, regardless of your foot position, whether it's forward, diagonal, or fully front on, you want your chest to be upright. You want there to be a nice vertical line from your rib cage down to your hips so that you display that hourglass shape and you have a nice flat stomach. So a lot of times if ladies don't have that hip and lower back mobility, they will lean over a little in this pose, which you'll see quite often, and then they have to hold this arm out. In a proper bikini front pose, I pose my leg more diagonal, so that's why I keep adjusting. In this proper position, this arm should just hang relaxed on that straight side. You should be upright enough with your posture, which requires a lot of hip mobility and flexibility to get that glute around and stay upright so that you're set up properly and you display the hourglass shape that the judges want to see. Similarly, in wellness, a lot of ladies do this as well in their side poses where they're leaning and pushing over, trying to make their glutes look bigger. If you stand upright and you arch around into that pose, you'll actually display more of that glute and that fullness, because when you lean over, it flattens out that upper glute and it also just distorts your shape. This is not cute, neither is the Z leg, but that's neither here nor there. So, and lastly for fit model, obviously the fit model front pose, depending on your muscularity and your bone structure, is going to be different, but whether you pose straight on and you tilt and press back, if you don't have mobility in that hip, you won't be able to sit out and around to bring this glute around and bring that waist in. Or if you're more upright, you might not have that mobility in the hip so that you can twist your hips to the side, display that glute, and still keep that quad in play in this position. So making sure that hip, more so than the lower back, has that mobility is key for fit model posing. So with that on mobility, practicing obviously is going to help to a certain extent, but also doing stretches, rehab and prehab exercises to strengthen those areas and work on your mobility is going to be key in allowing your posing to level up and get you into those poses. And the final thing, a lot of times, more is not more. Many girls get super focused on the flair and the fun, and sometimes you'll see it almost feels that a routine is more of a shampoo commercial versus a bodybuilding posing routine. Less is more. You can always add flair as you go, but if you start getting into habits that are very over the top and very performative, it's super hard to get out of them. It's super, super hard sometimes to undo all of the different things, because then you feel like you're taking personality away from it. So focus on the basics, focus on the mandatory poses for your division, and then you can add tasteful senses of personality in there to level up your routine while still hitting the mandatory criteria that the judges want to see from you. Because yes, your individual routine should showcase you, but this is a bodybuilding competition, not a dancing choreography competition. So we're wanting to focus on the physique, and the last thing you want is when you finish your routine, the judges to think about how far out your arms were, that they were looking up here and there, and not to remember your physique. So make sure that your posing is straightforward and impactful, and highlights your strengths and hides your weaknesses to the best of your ability, and doing that in a way that captures their attention and makes sure that you display what you need to on stage. Anyways, I hope that helped some of you out getting your feet wet with learning how to do bodybuilding posing, and just a few things that I would avoid if I were a new competitor trying to learn about the bodybuilding world. So as always, please leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything else I can give you guys information on or provide my experience. And if you want to work with me for posing or curious about anything that I might be able to help with, and links I have for jewelry, heels, supplements, etc., suits are all down below. So please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment about what else I can help you guys with, and I hope you have a good day.